What's up, y'all? Dwayne Clyde here. We're gonna do vlog number 1 here. Reason for this being is I get a lot of questions DM'd about just basic knowledge of me and who I am, and I'm gonna try to answer some of those. We'll try to keep these to less than 15 minutes. So we're not taking up all your time. I mean, we get bored listening to my nonsense. We'll post them up on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube will be the 3 outlets. So you guys go subscribe to those, leave comments, whatever. You know, I want to know what you're thinking. I want to know how you feel. It gives me a basis kind of to go on what to do next. But I picked some questions here that I've got a lot. It's questions that have been repeated a lot. So I'm going to start there. And you can, if you want a question to answer, you leave it in the comments or send a DM, whatever, and I'll answer it, you know. Unless I just don't want to, then I won't. But I can't possibly imagine that there's a subject I wouldn't touch. So, where am I from? Obviously, I live in Nashville now. I live just north of Nashville, but 25 minutes. I'm in downtown from my front door. So, I'm a Nashville resident. I am from Camden, South Carolina. It's a town in the Midlands of South Carolina, out in the center, off of Interstate I-20, between Columbia and Florence. Pretty close to Myrtle Beach area. I guess an hour and a half, I guess. I may be off here slightly, but not too much, because I remember cutting school a couple of times and going to Myrtle Beach for the day and doing goofy stuff. But yeah, Camden, South Carolina. So that's the accent. I hear the comments all the time when we're around. People meet me. It's like, I thought you were from Louisiana, you know, from Baton Rouge or Alexandria or something. No, I don't have a problem with that. I love the people of Louisiana. I love the state of Louisiana. The vibe's crazy cool, man. I dig it down there. But yeah, I am from the Midlands of South Carolina. I love the Palmetto State and everything it represents and holds for its culture and background. I got good food, man, good barbecue, get some Creole food, and just good people, man. Very, very friendly state. I'm a big Clemson Tigers fan, huge Clemson Tigers fan. I try to get to a home game at least one a season, which can be somewhat difficult with our schedule, but I make it happen. I didn't go last year for the first time, and a long time I haven't been to a game, but last year was a little crazy with all of this corona's activity. It just will not go away. So yeah, but yeah, big college football guy, big Clemson fan, and I get it. If you're a fan of, if you're from down in Louisiana, you're gonna be at LSU. If you're up in Ohio, you're probably going to be a Buckeye. If you're in Michigan, you're going to be a Spartan or Wolverine. I get that. It's territorial. What I do not get is the homeboy that comes up to me from Wisconsin his entire life. He's never left the state, and he's hollering Roll Tide. I don't understand it. I don't get it. Your Wisconsin Badgers have a great history, man. Huge amount of tradition. But you can do whatever you want to. You know, you want to be a fan of Alabama and be from Wisconsin? Do what you want to. But yeah, I'm a big college football fan in general, which I know you go, why are you talking about this? Because in South Carolina, it's a big deal. You're a South Carolina Gamecock or you're a Clemson Tiger. And you got to make a choice. There's none of this hand out I wrote for this one by playing each other. You can stop with your nonsense. Pick a side. Have some balls. All right? Here we go. Next question. Am I married? And this is weekly, daily at times. Yes, I am married. I am married. My wife's name's Kim. We've been married for 21 years. This is November we've been married. We got married very young. So we grew up together. We raised kids together, a family, and I'm very dedicated to that and faithful to that, and till death do us part is the promise that I made, and I believe in that. and it ain't always easy. I don't know anybody who's been married that can say it is. We've had our trials and tribulations, but like I say, we got together young, man. So we had to dig and claw to get started in life. We didn't have anything, and we've done all right. We've done all right. So yeah, Kimberly, I am married. It will not put that question at rest, though. It will continue coming in, but I'm very flattered. So I get this question a lot, which is an odd question, but I don't guess it's odd. You want to know, you want to know. I guess any question not asked is the only question won't get answered. What do I drive? Daily. What is my daily driver? I get that a lot. I'm a pickup truck man. I'm a pickup truck dude. Currently, I drive an F-150 crew cab 4x4 with a lift on it and a leveling kit, aftermarket gear wheels, all black. Gotta have a little lift on my ride, man. Gotta step up into my truck. Gotta have my man card and with my key, right? It's my first Ford. So far, so good. I've never owned a Ford before. I've always been a GM guy, man. I've always been in the GMCs and Chevrolets and had great luck with them. Had a Tacoma for a while. It was great. Love that truck. Just kind of outgrew it. I'm a big guy. I'm 6'4", over 200 pounds. So Tacoma got a little tight for me, but it was a great truck, man, and hardly any problems ever. But had a Jeep Wrangler for a while. I wanted a 4 doors, lifted Jeep out. It was fun. About 2 months a year. In the wintertime, you're freezing your ass off. And in the summertime, it's hot and it's loud, and every time it rains, you may die. You just lose control and wrap it around a telephone pole. It's just, but I liked it. It was fun. I had the assault top and had the pleasure of changing that myself and all that. Oversized off-road wheels and all that stuff. The wheels on the ground, it will go off-road, and no doubt about it. I loved it. But I currently drive F-150, and I like it. I really, really enjoyed it. It's got some cool features, man, and I'm a pickup truck dude. You know, you gotta haul something. You need to haul something. You know, the weather gets bad, put it in forward drive. There's no pickup truck that doesn't have 4x4 on it, y'all. 4x4 pickup truck. They shouldn't even make 2-wheel drive pickup trucks. Silly. Doesn't make any sense. All right. How did I get started in Nashville? This one's going to be, we're probably going to have to do an entire segment on Nashville and how I got here and got into music. I moved to Nashville in 2011, January 2011. And it was just me. I left my family. It was still in Georgia, and I stuck my toe in the water in Nashville, and I lived in a house here with some dudes down in that part of the town called Antioch. And it was 2 guys played bass, lived there. There were touring musicians and then a drummer. And then I was the only artist in the house. And there is a huge difference between those 2 lifestyles, from being a hired gun, a musician in a band, a guitar player or whatever, versus being a recording artist. 2 totally different lives you lead. So I was kind of doing my own things. I moved to town. I didn't make any phone calls or contacts to town to kind of cut the process in half for me. I didn't have a lot of those contacts really, but I had some. I just didn't go that route. And I got into open mics. I found open mics, and I asked around the people that I met, and you make friends, and you get into more and more of these shows. Shows. You get up and you play. Some of these you play one song, you may be the last dude that goes up at 2 o'clock in the morning. But those will lead, you meet people, therefore you get into other writer shows. And luckily for me, I was a songwriter already. Like the song, The Story, I wrote that long before I ever came to Nashville, years and years before I ever came to Nashville. That song, The Freedom, which we haven't released yet, but has been a staple at the live show. It's been the closer at the live show for years. song I wrote way before I ever came to Nashville. Matter of fact, those when I first got in labels, those were the two songs I was playing for all the record A&R reps and presidents of labels and stuff we were getting in front of was those two songs. But anyway, so I was playing writers rounds and just meeting people, which led to me doing BMI showcase shows and different showcase shows, stuff like that. And pretty early on, within less than 2 months of moving to Nashville, this guy introduced himself to me, and he was a producer in Nashville, and he had some credentials through working, being an engineer with a very, very reputable name in the music industry, especially the country industry. The guy's been extremely successful. Excuse me. And these guys, it's two guys. They had worked as engineers under this guy, and they were kind of getting a blessing to be producers. And so we started writing a lot of material, literally 4 to 5 days a week. And then meeting other writers, I started writing with other people, doing the whole Nashville co-writing, speed dating co-writing thing. But I worked with these two guys. It was my main gig. My first writing session every day was with at least one of these guys, if not both of them, and or other writers would come in of note. And we just wrote a boatload of songs, and we wrote some good ones. We wrote some good ones, and we wrote some not so good ones. It's just that's how the process takes place. And from that, we picked some songs to record, to pitch to the major labels, to try to get a record deal. And so it was a learning process for me. I didn't know any of this stuff. I didn't know how any of this worked at all. So I was kind of along for the ride, but I was the vehicle for the whole thing, man. So my strength was I could sit down in the office of said record label employee and play live and hold court. Keep the attention, and I could handle that stress. On the outside, on the inside, I was a wreck. Because I was not 20 years old when I came to town. I was already in my 30s. So we'll get into that too, because you'll hear a lot of reasons why you can't be successful in this industry, and they are 99.9% bullshit. Just simply not true. And anybody tells you you're too old to be successful in a major music genre, they are absolutely, that is not true. I can name names. So anyway, yeah, that was how I got my start. Getting introduced to the labels and the people who work within the labels led to a bunch of other stuff. Getting writing gigs, publishing, other labels as they move around a lot, and so forth, so on. We will talk about that a lot going forward, I'm sure, because it is a bumpy ride. It is very unsure. It is not honest. It's not necessarily honest. Everybody in the industry is not dishonest. I've met some cats in some very high positions that are extremely straight up, and I can name, I don't know that we will name names, but dudes that have been completely cool, man, and right on, and their heart is in the right place. They are in it for the right reasons. But that's kind of how I got going in this thing, and we're getting close on time, so we'll go ahead and cut it there. But we're just making an introduction, guys. Y'all make some comments, some questions you want answered, and thank you so much for your support. But believe me, it's heard. I hear you. And I love you for sticking with me, man. And we have in common, we obviously like the same thing. So I hear you. I'm listening to you. You guys are the ones that drive the ship. I'm just along for the ride, believe that. But thank you so much for your continued support and kind words. It really does mean the world to me. And I want to know I love you. You guys have a great weekend. And we'll do this thing again in a week or two and answer some more questions. Deuces.